and welcome to Get Real with Eddie. I know this is a different start to the show than normal, and that is because we have a huge announcement. But first, I'd like to introduce the guest I have here in studio with me today. I gotta make a camera adjustment. There we go. Megan Wedtland from Fairway Mortgage. Megan, what's your MLS ID number?
It is 1249084.
Excellent. So, for those that don't know, I was teasing on social media as of last night that we have a big announcement, and the big announcement, and Megan gets to be here for it. I am now the designated managing broker owner of Exit Real Estate Specialists, located in Joliet. Our territory is in Plainfield-ish area to Joliet. So, I mean, we can serve anywhere, the county, state. The territory is just where I get to put an office. And I am so excited. I've made this move. This has been something I've been working on for some time. I did it because of my clients and other brokers. I want to be able to help other brokers grow their business, and I believe in a mindset of clients first, brokers second, and brokerage third. And that by that meaning that if the brokerage takes care of the broker can take care of the client, and everybody wins. It's a win-win situation, and I am so excited about this move. Exit has been an outstanding company. I have done some long-term research into this and making this decision, and I could not be any happier. It has been a family welcome me in with open arms, and has just been an outstanding company to start to get to know and work with, and I am so happy at this point. So that is the big news for everybody wondering. I am now the designated managing broker owner of Exit Real Estate Specialists. I'm sure I will trip up once or twice on that.
With the old name.
With the old name. It always happens.
Newness is hard.
You've done, you know, this business is about change.
It's about change. Yep, and change can sometimes be hard, but good.
Yes.
Change is typically good. A little painful in the beginning, and then it turns out to be good.
Yes, that's exactly what I would agree on. And let's get into some stuff. You came in wanting to talk about a program that you guys have.
Yes, we have this really exciting buy before you sell program, and it's such a solution to a huge problem that we have in the market. We have a lot of older clientele or older, people wanting to downsize now, right? And they're married to that 2% interest rate or 3% interest rate, whatever they have. They have a ton of equity in their homes. I mean, I think the statistic is about 45% of people own their homes free and clear. That's a huge number. And so a lot of people are wanting to downsize, or on the flip side, wanting to upsize. Maybe they have their starter home and they're wanting to upsize into their forever home with a growing family or whatever. And Buy Before You Sell is a program that allows customers to purchase non-contingent and pull equity out of their current home to put down on the new home. So it really is a solution to a huge problem. A lot of people are like, well, especially realtors in this market, contingent offers aren't that appealing, right, to a seller or to the agents. They should be, but
because we're in the market where it shouldn't matter. But there is a group that has decided, oh no, you want a non-contingent offer,
right?
But so you're kind of stuck, and I get it. When you have non-contingent offers coming in, do you want to take the offer that has to sell their house, or do you want to take the offer that doesn't have to sell their house?
Exactly. For whatever reason, sellers see it as a risk or whatever it may be, or maybe you're in a multiple offer situation and, you just can't accept that contingent offer. So this program allows the buyer to remove the contingency, and we can even omit if they don't own their home free and clear and there's a mortgage payment on the home, it allows us to omit that mortgage payment, because who can qualify for 2 mortgages? Not many people.
And that's huge.
That's huge.
Because
huge.
You have historically the bridge loan option.
Yes.
But
bridge is still an option. This is different than a bridge.
But that's the thing. With a bridge loan,
you have to count both payments.
Both payments.
Yes.
You got to qualify for 2 houses, and most people can't do that.
Correct. The average consumer cannot do that. And so this allows us, what happens is a company called HomeLight makes a cash backup offer on the home. Meaning if they don't sell their home within 120 days from the closing date of the new property, so they have lots of time to get this together, HomeLight will pay cash for the house. And that's how they allow us to omit the current mortgage payment, is because the client has a cash backup offer on their home.
Now, of course, that's not a full price offer.
Correct.
Like a full, let's put it,
full market value
offer.
Correct.
That'd be the way to say it.
Yeah, typically it's about 10 to 20% below market value. It's different depending on geographical location. I mean, there's so many factors that go into what HomeLight offers you, but they are definitely upfront with that. You sign a contract, you're well aware of what they're offering you. And then even if let's say HomeLight does have to turn around and buy the house after 120 days for 20% below market value, they still work with your realtor to sell your home.
Okay.
So, and you still get, there are other fees associated with that, obviously, but then the client will still get the remainder of what's left once it does finally sell.
So they'll get the proceeds. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if they have to buy, there's additional fees, so you got to pay the additional fees. Mm-hmm. But if it's getting you into your dream house.
Yep. I can give you a beautiful example. Somebody was just texting me about it, actually. They're moving up from Arizona, and they don't want to buy contingent, trying to juggle an out-of-state move. And they want to be able to move out of their current home so their listing agent can stage their home, and they're going to end up getting more for their home anyways because they're not worried about keeping it clean. They're not worried about the in and out, the dogs, the kids, all the things, and they're not dealing with that stress of managing contingencies back and forth. So I think another example, my own personal neighbors just closed 2 weeks ago on their downsizing home. They had to purchase a home without stairs. Their current home, they used HomeLight to pull equity out of their current home, put down on the new house, because they were contingent. They got a contingent offer accepted, but then a cash offer came in and tried to bump them. So if you don't know what a bump is, basically if you're contingent, somebody else can come in who's non-contingent and bump you off the contract. Yeah. So they were about to lose their forever retirement home. Yeah. So they had 48 hours to remove the contingency. So we came in with HomeLight, removed the contingency, and they actually just closed 2 weeks ago. So that was a huge success story. And their house is listed right now. They have 12 days left to sell it. It's on the market. They're getting showings. The agent's very confident they can sell within the 120 days.
Well, and especially in this market.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
4 months is a long time.
When you're seeing market time of 30 to 40 days right now in most of our markets.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty average. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should be able to sell in 120.
Absolutely.
You're almost 3 times
right
on the time frame.
Right.
So the only reason you wouldn't sell, in my opinion, is the property's overpriced.
Correct.
So even if you want to roll the dice and maybe overprice it a little bit, I get it. Sellers like to do that. It ends up hurting you in the long run. You actually get less when you do that because then you have to do a price.
You're doing price reductions, right? And people think you're going to go even lower, or you're desperate to sell, or whatever it may be.
The first price reduction gets you to the market value you should have been at the time of listing, but now you're at the market value of time of listing with market time, and everybody goes, "What's wrong with it?" So nobody still wants to. You now need to go under market to bring in people and bring in the buyers.
Why has it been sitting so long? I think everybody asks that, right? Even the agents. Why has it been sitting so long? Well, it's overpriced. Oh, you think we could get them down even more? I mean, the conversation could keep going.
Exactly. I have to be honest, we just closed a deal with you, and you were outstanding.
Thank you.
You were welcome. I mean, and your communication was just amazing. It's key for the real estate agents.
Absolutely. It's the number one complaint I get when I'm meeting with, let's say, a new realtor I've never done a transaction with, or somebody I'm meeting for the first time, and I say, what's your biggest pain point, with your current lender or current attorney or current whoever?
Yeah.
And it's always, 99.9% of the time, it's communication. I call them and they don't answer the phone, or I text them and they don't text back, or I don't get updates on the transaction. And I don't understand. So I just pride myself in good communication.
What I appreciate is the communication before we get to contract. Because
Okay.
I need to know, as the agent, interest rates, terms, conditions,
Yes.
things like that. And you supply all of that information. So now I can do my job
Right.
and negotiate the best possible deal for the client.
Yep. And you're not wasting your time.
Yes.
How do you know, I always share this is what I'm estimating property taxes at, or if they're looking, I have a lot of clients right now, especially in the first time homebuyer price point, that are looking at condos or single family. And that can be a huge payment and approval discrepancy. You might be approved for $300,000 with a single family, but it might only be $250,000 if it's a condo because of HOA dues. So there's always those little caveats, and you have to ask those questions up front. I really, really focus on doing a thorough pre-approval and
Yep.
getting all that up front, because time is money, and we don't want to waste the client's time or the realtor's time. And you might be showing them properties they don't qualify for.
Now, do you guys have at Fairway an underwrite?
We do.
So you can go beyond the
Yes.
pre-approval.
Yep, we upfront underwrite. We actually have a program called Fairway Cash Guarantee where we could take it 10 steps further. Fairway, it's such a thorough underwrite. Basically, all we're pending is appraisal and title. And Fairway will put an addendum to the contract that says if this doesn't close, we will pay cash for the house. So it's a way for us to compete with cash offers. And, we don't do it on every single pre-approval, but
No.
sometimes in that first-time homebuyer price point,
Yeah.
or if you have, you're in that investor price point,
Yeah.
it's a way for you to make a cash offer on a home. And we're closing in 10 to 15 days because we're just pending that appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
And the title report, of course, which we can't get until we're under contract on a home. But assuming, and even then, the addendum protects the seller.
Yeah, I've worked with lenders going back to, like I said, your communication skills. They seem to forget that on the multi-board contract that we use primarily in this market, it has a kickout clause in the interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the interest rate? And I have had lenders, I need a number.
I give you the worst case, right?
Yeah.
So if the rate today, let's say rate today, and this is hypothetical, of course, I'm not quoting a rate, but let's say rate today 7%. I'm probably going to run the pre-approval at 7.125,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to share on the pre-approval letter, just because I'd rather qualify you on worst case scenario, because then if rates go up, we're protected, but if they go down, cool, now your payment's less and you're more comfortable.
And now I'm going in at 7.25
Yep.
on the contract. So because if some reason you come up at 7.5, the buyer has a right to go, nope, I
Yep.
don't want the deal, and walk away and get their earnest money back.
Absolutely.
It's the check and balance.
Mm-hmm.
While, we work together, I also have a fiduciary responsibility to buyer to protect them and give them that check and balance.
Absolutely.
And I swear it's sometimes forgotten or falls on deaf ears with some lenders. It really does.
I think some lenders, and I was guilty of this my first year in the business. I think some lenders, especially in a rising rate environment and where it is so competitive and there's so many lenders,
Yes,
and
yes.
you could go down the street to the bank and the rate on paper might look 1/8 of a point cheaper, right? So I think a lot of lenders are scared to quote a rate sometimes because they're afraid the client's going to run. Or the agent's going to come back and say, that's really high, they should call my guy, or whatever it is.
Yes, I get it.
That does happen, but I'm not afraid to quote a rate because I'm confident in our pricing, and I'm confident that we are comparable to, if not better, than most other local lenders. And I have no problem being upfront and honest with my client. If you do want to shop around, that's your right as a consumer, but bring it to me. We have better customer service, and I promise I'll make it work.
And the deal we just closed, the rate that you got my client, my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
jaw dropped when he told me what the rate was. I'm like,
We're very competitive.
okay, well, you might not be refining for a while. You're going to be pretty much
Probably for a year or two.
It's going to be at least, I think, 2 years before he gets a rate that's going to justify
Of
him refinance. Yeah.
Some of these lenders do have a lot of margin padded in their rate, and that's their right and their prerogative. We just don't. We're really lean and mean, if you will, right? And
I've
we're very
noticed that.
conservative and very. We believe in helping as many families as we can. So your volume is there if your units are there, and so we just are very fair with our pricing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really impressed with how smooth the transaction went, and you were coming in on the transaction for a lender that they were uncomfortable with.
Right.
It was a mess transaction, folks. I can't really get into the details, but basically we had it wasn't the buyer's fault at all. We had the buyer. It was on the seller, and the seller tried to walk away from the agreement, and we said, no, we have a contract. We want the house. And we had to hold them to the fire, and there was a lot of extensions and contingencies and things that were playing in, and the cost was wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
And
those lock extensions get expensive.
And you came in and you're like, well, not only can I skip that, I can do this.
Yeah.
And beat the rate, totally got them to closing in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. In 12 days. 12 days. 13 days, maybe. 13.
I'll go 13.
Yeah, 13.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll take your word for
13.
it. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks.
Yes. So it was just an outstanding file. All right. I want to look at numbers for Shorewood when we get back. We're going to hit a quick break here and go from there. Just keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome to the Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn more about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when Lions serve, life improves and the community grows. Grow with us. Go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org. And don't forget to save the date for the Lions annual Luau and Car Show, Sunday, September 1st from 12 p.m. till 10 p.m. at St. Joe's Park, 700 Theodore Street, Joliet. Car Show will run from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. in conjunction with annual community luau. $15 entry fee per vehicle. See you there.
Stocks may succeed, stocks may fail. Real estate is always there. It's Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. All right. Let me take a look. I'm looking at pulling up numbers on Shorewood. 60404. There we go. And you can see what's in front of you, right, with the bar graph?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I gotta turn your mic on. I'm so distracted today. This move has just got me off my A game right now. That's fine. We'll get there. So, beautiful thing is it's radio and it's live. So,
That's right.
That's right.
Unscripted.
Always unscripted here, that's for sure. All right, so I want to look at 60404. We've been doing these zip code breakouts for the last couple of weeks just to really get into some of these numbers and what's going on. So, for Shorewood, they are up 2.8% in June, from last June, to $355,000 on the median price. Original list price was $396,594, up 2.7%. That is on the average. The median is up 4.2% to $388,750. And I like going off the median price personally, because just my math guy, I don't like the averages.
Yep. Median price is always a safe bet.
So that is what I'm looking at. Here's the big number that we always like to look at, and that is the market time. Market time right now
Days on market
is down 26.7% to 11 days.
Down from 2020. That's interesting.
Uh-huh. So it's almost where it was at 2022, where it was 9 days. It went up in 2023.
Which we know how crazy it felt in 2022.
This is so true. So that is just, we're talking 30, 40 days average market time. Here we're looking at single family units, a condo's a property, everything in there, new construction, it's all in there. And the market time's only 11 days.
So low. Such a low number.
Yeah. I mean, so if you are thinking of selling in Shorewood,
there's a demand, clearly.
There is a huge demand. June's median price for last list price, they were getting percentage of last list price. They're getting 100% of the last list price. Now, the original list price is what we always talk about. Are we listing houses or over listing houses, and it's right on the money. They're getting 100% of original list price also.
That's amazing.
So there's all this talk of, oh, they're overpricing property. If they were, you would see price cuts, and you don't.
The market says otherwise. I mean, it's supply and demand right now. The market is saying we're pricing right.
I know, and that is one of the biggest compliments we've been giving to our fellow realtors in the last couple of weeks, going through these deep dives.
Yeah.
Usually we do the screenshot area report out of town, but when we start getting into these numbers, you really see, especially when you're breaking it in on zip code, you really start seeing what's going on. Contract to close, 35 days, pretty standard.
Yeah,
That
pretty
is
standard.
down actually 5.4. Last year was 37. Listing to contract on the median, you are looking at 8 days. 8 days from listing to contract.
So fast.
So the big number that everybody wants to know is month supply. And once again, we are at 1.4 months. That is up actually 7.7%. So that's an indication we have some new listings coming to market.
A little bit more inventory, but still pretty low.
Very, very low.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big, big number that we're looking at when you're looking at 1.4 a month supply.
And this is, I think inventory, you'll hear in the news sometimes, inventory's going higher, it's going up, and the news will create that fear and that panic because fear sells, right? But
That clickbait.
Clickbait, but it's seasonal as well. You got to think about it. It is more common for inventory to go up in the summer, historically, because families are moving kids in school, or it's easier to move over the summer and we have harsh winters. Like, it's just, inventory naturally goes up in the spring and summer. That's just how our market ebbs and flows. And I think COVID changed that a little bit. COVID made it more of a year-round market when the market was a little crazy. So to see it go up just this little bit is not concerning at all. Like, you have the media just putting that fear out there.
And I had a meeting this morning with Exit Corporate, and they were going over numbers and data and stuff like that. And they came out with, and I forgot where the source was, but that the market is still 4.5 million units
Yes.
short.
Yep. We are short.
Nationally, we have 4.5 million homes
Yes.
short, nationally speaking.
Yes. I mean, the millennial generation is the largest generation of home buyers.
38%. That was
Yes.
another number. 38% right now
Not enough homes.
are millennials. So really quick, in June, we had 340 new listings, up 10%. Under contract was 247 properties in Shorewood in 60404. That is up 1.2%. Closings was down 18.9% to 227. So while the listings and all that's coming up, the closings were down probably because the previous months we had less inventory.
Yes. Yeah.
So total homes for sale at the end of the month was 27 units. So you only had 27 units between single family, duplexes, condos, everything to select from. The scary number I don't like to use, but I know everybody wants to know it.
Price per square.
And again, we always talk about price per square foot as a scary number because, you're punishing good builders and rewarding bad builders if you think you're basing everything on price per square foot.
Yeah.
Not even that, just you're punishing people that have done their remodels
Right.
versus people that haven't updated the property.
Right.
If you just take the price per square foot, algorithm, and it doesn't work. You gotta
No.
look at apples to apples.
Upgrades and condition of the home,
Correct.
location. I mean, so many different.
Yep,
Yeah,
so
that
many
is.
different factors.
This one is tricky.
$171 per square foot in 60404. That is up 7.5% from last year at $159. Showings to contract on the medium, 11 showings to contract. No change from last year. Last year was at 11. It was down last year 15.4% from 13 to 11. So we stayed pretty consistent there. Showings per listing, we are down in Shorewood 8 showings. It was 8.7 last year, so we're down 8%. So that's a pretty good number.
I think so.
to be looking at of what's going on in Shorewood and seeing where everything is at and how everything's breaking out.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's take a quick look at one of our lovely articles. What to do when your house didn't sell. If your listing expired and your house didn't sell, it's totally natural to feel a mix of frustration and disappointment. So what can you do? Consider looking back. Was it priced for today's market? I think that's the biggest thing.
Biggest thing, it's not 2021 anymore, right?
Yep.
We have to price it accurately. We can't just throw a number out there and hope it happens.
Yeah, because in 2021, you put a price out.
Price didn't mean anything at that point.
30, 40,000, 50,000 over list.
Yep.
Because there was so many buyers in the market.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, the prices are still going up, but the number of buyers is down.
Correct. Money is more expensive to borrow, right? So when you're borrowing at a 2.5% interest rate, you're going to be a little more, willing to spend a little bit more. I mean, that's just what it is. Your payment was more affordable back then. It's the affordability. So buyers are really taking some time and thinking and lowering their purchase power based on where they're comfortable with their payments. So naturally, you're not going to have as many buyers.
Yep. So then everybody's going, well, if we don't have any buyers, why don't we have prices going down? Because the number of sellers is less than the number of buyers.
And there still are buyers out there. There's just not as many.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, look you had 8 showings to a property in Shorewood.
Right.
So, I mean, that tells you right now.
There are at least 8 buyers qualified for that house.
Yeah, and seven buyers are still looking because they didn't get it.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the easiest way to look at it. So, Rocket Mortgage explains, buyer interest in your home is highest when it first comes to the market. That's why it's important to start the right price on day one. If you overprice the house, buyers may just raise an eyebrow and move on to the next listing without even coming for a showing. It can be easy to think your home is worth more, but trying not to let sentimental value color your judgment. Your home's true value is whatever a buyer is willing to pay for it. And I think that's the hardest part.
Yes.
All right?
The emotion.
It's the emotional value that you try. Well, I brought my kids home here. They lost their first tooth here. I carried my spouse across the threshold here.
Yeah.
I mean, those personal things don't have value.
Right. They do to you, and there's so many things you can do to remember your home, but you have to remember and picture another buyer walking through it wanting to make their memories in the home. And I think separating the emotion from it is definitely the hardest part, but also why you should hire a good realtor who will help you do that. One
of the biggest things, and this is one of the things I'm really old school on, when we go in, take down the personal pictures.
Absolutely. I'm the same. And someone who has personal pictures all over their home.
Yes.
And, the little sayings that, our family was established in 2006, and you have this stuff on the wall and all this stuff. Because then it's harder for people to picture themselves in your home. And I'll never forget when I sold what I thought was going to be my forever home in 2021. And I had my last name, Wedtland, and it established the year my husband and I got married and our whole family and everything. And I remember peeling that off the wall, just crying. But I did, before they did the photos, I peeled it off the wall because it's not going to be our home anymore. So as hard as it was for me, have yourself a good cry, but just do it.
Yeah.
It'll help.
Don't get me wrong. I get emotional too. I understand.
It's emotional,
It becomes, but at that point you have to detach the emotion and realize it's an investment.
You have to become a business person. Because now at this point you want to get top dollar for your home. That's most important to help you with the next home or retirement or whatever it is.
And that's the thing. If you price it correctly, you're going to increase your chances of multiple offers in this market. And that's how you get top dollar.
Yes, because they'll know it's not going to stick around.
Yes.
If it's priced right, it will not stick around. I mean, we saw averaged 11 days on market, I think we were at. So if it's priced right, it's not, you don't have much time. You don't have much time. If it's not priced right and it sits, I mean, yes, you have more time, but it definitely got to price it right out the gate. I couldn't agree more.
So here's another aspect. And some of this, you need to make sure you're talking to your realtor. If you're not using myself, talk to your realtor. Make sure you have a good, solid conversation. Is it easy for the buyers to get into the property?
Yes, that's a big one. I mean, I've seen it. agents say, hey, can I have a pre-approval letter? We're going to look at this property. And they're like, oh, just kidding. I can't get in until Monday because something is going on over the weekend, or they have, their dog, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because you're trying to sell something. And when you're trying to sell something, you have to be at other people's mercy for their time, not your own. It's no different than I can't stand when lenders are like, I only work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I'm like, well, cool. My client works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So I need to be available when they're available. It's the same thing when selling your house. Mm-hmm. If you can't do showings on nights and weekends and things, then good luck. I mean to be blunt, but you have to let people in your house.
Yeah.
You have to. They got to see it.
And that's the thing. Making sure you have a big window for the showings.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that are in, I don't know if it's the seller, it could be the sellers, could be the real estate brokers, but they're putting a 15-minute or a 30-minute window.
Yeah.
First off, I can't show a 3,000 square foot house in 15 minutes. You're being ridiculous.
I can't even purchase an item of clothing online without thinking about it for 15 minutes, let alone a house that I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on. And I can't even imagine.
I always believe there's a hierarchy of needs in real estate. And it goes such as this. They start online. They see the pretty pictures. The pretty pictures suck them in.
Yep.
They want to see it in person. They walk in person. They fall in love. They want to write the offer.
Yep.
And you got to get them there, and you got to keep them in that property for a while. I'm a big believer. I give 1 hour windows for all of my listings. I tell my clients, get out of the property. I know it's going to be horrible. It's for an hour. All right. Now it might be for 2 or 3 hours because you may have 2 or 3 appointments back to back.
Yeah.
Take the short-term pain and discomfort for 5 or 7 days.
Right.
And get the house under contract.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If they don't have enough time, in my opinion, they're just going to ask to come back.
No.
They're going to want to see it a second time, or they're going to,
The problem is they don't necessarily come back. They get rushed through.
Or they rush away. They go away.
And
okay.
they go to they like it a lot. They didn't get to stay in the house long enough to fall in love with it.
Right.
And sometimes I've seen clients go to another property that I'm going, this isn't as nice as the other one. Are you sure? Yeah, no. Because they got to stay in that property longer.
And they probably walk around the house. I know when I was shopping with my kids, it was like, this is going to be my room, and this is going to be my room. And they do all that time to explore, and it really does change the feeling.
And you know what? I encourage kids to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It tugs at the parents.
Well, the kids sometimes are very uncomfortable about moving.
And it's emotional for them too, especially if they're school age and they're changing schools, or and creating that little bit of excitement can change their whole emotional state about it and make them happy and excited. I know my kids were excited to get bigger bedrooms. And so they got to, this wall is, I'm going to paint it this color. And to see them excited got me excited. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really, really important, especially for families.
Showing Time advises, do your best to be flexible as possible when granting access showing your house. So make the best impression is another one. We're getting close to a break here. Clean your house.
First impressions are everything.
Yeah.
A clean house makes people think you take care of your house, which makes them want it even more.
Yep.
Nothing worse. Pay that extra couple $100s to have a professional cleaning if you need it.
Yep.
If you're too busy.
Make sure your landscaping is done. You'd be shocked on how little landscaping you can spend.
Yep.
That will make such a huge splash.
Just a few hours of labor, even just weeding. Just that curb appeal really does make a difference. If people see that you've taken care of your home, I think it adds value there.
Yeah. And then declutter is another thing.
Yes.
Those personal pictures come down. But honestly, I usually tell people 25% of what's in a room. Sometimes it's 50%.
Yeah. It just depends on
how full.
Pack it up. Yep. Pack it up, put it in a box in the closet.
You get to unpack it when you get to the new place.
Yep, exactly.
So.
Or it's a perfect time to declutter, too, in general, and just give some stuff to Goodwill or sell, have a garage sale, just kind of declutter. And it's amazing how much better, personally, I feel when I get organized.
So I want to hit the break, and I want to come back because I want to finish this topic because we've got some skills and a quote explained from Dave Ramsey Solutions. So keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome to the Lions Club. Being a lion means knowing that kindness matters. We believe in changing the world by serving the needs of our local communities. More than 1.4 million lions around the world are responding to local and global challenges with kindness and care. Come volunteer with us. Your Lions journey starts here. The Crest Hill Lions Club invites you to reach out to your local Lions Club to learn more about how you can be a part of a community and bringing passionate, kind-hearted people together to serve local needs. They build relationships that lead to opportunities. In short, when Lions serve, life improves and the community grows. Grow with us. Go to lionsclub.org to start your journey today. That's lionsclub.org. And don't forget to save the date for the Lions annual Luau and Car Show, Sunday, September 1st from 12 p.m. till 10 p.m. at St. Joe's Park, 700 Theodore Street, Joliet. Car Show will run from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. in conjunction with annual community luau. $15 entry fee per vehicle. See you there.
It's Get Real with Eddie, where everyone deserves the opportunity of home.
Oh, I cannot wait to the luau for the Crest Hill Lions on September 1st this year. So definitely come on out, and going to be a good time. I am working the wheel, and those that have been to St. Joe's Park know the money wheel. That's all I got to say.
Check that out.
September 1st, come on out. So, all right. So, Ramsey Solutions asks, were you willing to negotiate? And they state, if you don't have money or time to fix home issues, considering offering other forms of incentive to buyers.
Yes.
An experienced real estate agent can help you arrange a deal where you and your buyer both can come out on top. Sometimes it's just move-in dates.
Move-in dates. Can you be flexible on a date?
Yeah.
I have how many buyers have won offers offering, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you can have an extra 3 days to get out of the property. We're totally flexible because we're renting and our lease isn't up till the end of the month.
Well, and here's the thing. So put it on the flip side, because this is looking at the seller not being able to sell. Hey, we'll take whatever moving date you have, because maybe they're under a lease.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 months left on the lease.
Right, and they don't want to pay double mortgage or double rent
payments.
and mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We can hold off on move out. We're not in a rush. We have other aspects, but we want this contract as is.
Perfect.
I mean,
perfect example of negotiation.
So you got to think outside the box to where and how, you can make things work.
Yeah.
I mean, so that way you're not having to worry about, because if there's things that need to be fixed.
Absolutely.
In the house.
You know your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've lived there.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, did you listen to your real estate agent? So
hopefully you hired him. You should trust him, right?
I was gonna say, if you're hiring somebody, you should be listening to what they have to say. Better Homes and Gardens says, if you're frustrated with the timeline of sale, chat with your real estate agent. Agents want what is best for you, and sale of your home and having an open communication about frustrations will be key. Talk to them.
Yes, communicate, because they can't read your mind. If you're upset, I always tell clients, especially with even the lending side and the real estate side, if you're upset about something, you got to speak up, because your agent might not know you're upset, or they might not understand, like maybe you want to move faster. Maybe you want your home to close faster. Have you communicated that with them? It's a simple, but I think a step everybody forgets. Same with, I deal with this a lot on the lending side too. People won't communicate when they have a change, a job change or any kind of change. Like I had clients who just ran off and got married in the middle of a transaction, but they communicated it with me. So it was fine.
Yeah.
We were fine. It didn't delay anything. We changed some paperwork. We had time. It was great. But had they not communicated that with me, that would have been a big issue at the closing table. Yeah. Right? That would have delayed. So communicate with your agent if something's up. Even if you don't think, we'd much rather have too much communication than not enough.
Yeah.
I promise no communication is too much.
Yeah, there is no such thing as too much.
No such thing, please.
It really makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah.
So
I think it helps too when the lender and the realtor communicate. Because I've worked plenty of times where it's not a realtor I've ever worked with before, and they just communicate differently or don't communicate at all, and that is very frustrating because I'm like, When we work like a well-oiled machine and we communicate, it makes a better experience for clients all around.
Like we were talking earlier, I need to know where the interest rate approximately is going to be.
Right.
I get it. It's not locked, but I got to have an approximate to put in the contract.
You have to have a ballpark, especially if you're running payment scenario. There's mortgage calculators out there. Like, you got to have an idea.
But I also have to have a rough idea on whether or not the buyer needs closing cost credits.
Absolutely. Because what do you do if you get under contract? They don't have money for closing.
Yeah.
And now you didn't negotiate closing costs, but you're already under contract.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. Now we're in a pickle because now we're short $8,000 or whatever the number is. You know, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We always, always, always verify those assets up front and have that conversation.
All right. So we got the housing market forecasts for the second half of 2024 coming out. Some of these have been revised, but they're looking, and this just seems so low to me, honestly. The 2024 home price forecast price appreciation. All right. So they are averaging of all 7 of these predictions a 2.8% increase, and that just seems very low.
It does seem low, but I'm an optimist.
I know.
It's still going up.
Well, yeah, and Florida's...
But it is low.
Florida's got some struggling markets.
Yes.
Arizona has some struggling markets, and California's got some struggling markets.
Yeah.
And those are large markets that have a bigger impact in the numbers.
Yes.
Here locally, I think we're going to blow these numbers away.
I think so, too. We're going to see, I'd say at least 4 to 5,
but
maybe more.
You're looking at Fannie Mae up 4.8% on the year. MBA is 4.5%. The Home Price Economic Survey is up 4.3%. Goldman Sachs is up 3.8%. I haven't seen Goldman Sachs' prediction in a while. NAR, I am shocked, is only at 1.8%. So the National Association of Realtors is only coming in at 1.8% increase. Freddie Mac is at 0.5% when Fannie Mae is at 4.8%.
That's interesting.
I found that interesting too. And Zillow is at a 0.4% increase on the aspects when it comes to what is going on long term.
Zillow needs to be a little conservative. Usually those estimates are a little bit inflated sometimes.
Just a bit?
Just a bit.
At one point, and I don't know if it's still on their site, it used to say for entertainment purposes only.
Pretty much.
So I think that is off their site. That's what it should say.
That's what it should say. I can say that, and I'm not a realtor.
So real estate still holds the best long-term investment. According to experts at Gallup, real estate has been crowned the long-term investment for a whopping 12 years in a row now. So Gallup poll is seeing most people seeing real estate as their best option when it comes to investing.
Couldn't agree more.
36% for a long-term investment believe it's in real estate. 22% are at stocks and mutual funds. 18% have gold. The savings account is at, we're getting to the point, I can't see that.
13 in CDs.
CDs and savings accounts. 4% only in bonds. I'm shocked with all the bonds going up that it's only 4%.
I think it's an old school thing that went away for so long because interest rates were so low for so long.
That bonds just
didn't do well, but now they really are. I mean, and high yield savings accounts. I had this conversation yesterday I have friends of mine who are in their 50s, had no idea what a high yield savings account was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys, if you just have your rainy day fund parked in the bank, high yield savings accounts right now can pay anywhere from 4 to 6%, depending on who you go with.
Yeah.
Every month. Liquid. It's not like a CD that ties up your money.
And the nice thing about that is that's a rate right now that's beating inflation.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is for a while it wasn't
guaranteed.
Some of these options weren't beating out inflation.
Right. And it's the bigger thing is it's safe and it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a stock that can go up and down and fluctuate with the market, right? It's guaranteed. Can't go wrong. I tell clients all the time, if you have any money parked in the bank that you don't need to touch, if you're not willing to invest it with a financial advisor, at the very least, high yield savings account. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Realtor.com explains homeownership has long been tied to building wealth, and for good reason. Instead of throwing rent money out the window each month, owning a home allows you to build home equity, and over time, equity can turn in your mortgage debt into a sizable asset.
You got to pay to live somewhere.
Exactly.
Why not pay your own mortgage? And then now you have a huge asset come retirement or an investment.
Well, and the interest I always say on rent is 100%.
Yes.
So
Yes.
your interest on rent is 100%. So, all right, last topic I want to hit before we get out for the day, and that is the difference between an inspection and a home appraisal.
Yes.
Because there is a difference.
Big difference, guys. Big difference. Oof.
So, I advise you to get a home inspection every single time. Just saying. With that being said, Realtor.com, a home inspection is something that protects your financial interest in what will likely be the largest purchase you make in your life, on one in which you need as much information as possible.
Absolutely.
You're going in with an assumption of the property condition.
To your
When you-
naked eye, right?
Yes,
Like-
when you make an offer. We get into some things, but I mean, it's not like I'm taking away the furnace. I'm not pulling the electrical panel
right.
during...
You're not testing every outlet.
No.
Yeah.
We make the assumption, the home inspection validates that assumption on condition.
Yes. And you're looking for safety concerns.
Yes.
You're looking, big things like mold, cracks in the foundation, like you said, things that aren't visible when you're just touring that, because you got to dream with your eyes wide open.
Yeah.
That's what an inspection, because you're dreaming and you're all in, especially I see this a lot with new construction homes that are staged really well.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, it's so beautiful. You still need a home inspection because you don't know. You don't know what's going on underneath the house.
Yeah.
Or, especially if there's a crawl space and not a basement or whatever. You just really, really need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, you do, because you don't need to get yourself into a money pit, because
Right.
then it's not...
A lemon.
Yeah, then you're not getting any kind of return on your asset,
Right.
because any equity you may gain over the years gets dumped back in. And structural and water penetration
Yes.
are probably the two biggest ones that I would tell you to run from a property.
Yep.
Anything else you're fine with.
Yeah, because you can fit cosmetic stuff is easy, right? I have clients sometimes that will insist on asking for every little thing, and we're like, no, safety concerns, electrical type stuff. Obviously if something's not to code or whatever, and it's old, but really the water's a huge one. I see, and mold is another one that I see. Now I'm getting into the appraisal side of it, but maybe that's a good segue.
Speaking of the home appraisals,
Yes.
Bankrate explains, when buying or selling a home, an appraisal verifies that the sale price of a home is in line with fair market value. This ensures the home buyer doesn't pay more than the home is worth, and the mortgage lender doesn't lend more than it is worth. I would argue what Bankrate says on paying more than it's worth. It's really just validating that the bank's amount is what they're loaning
Yeah.
out. They're going to get a return.
I'm a lender. I can say that it protects the lender. Bottom
Yeah.
line, we're lending out $250,000+ We need to make sure the property's worth that, so we're not upside down on the money, right? But it protects the buyer too, so they're not overpaying either.
Exactly. And so, and especially in this market, keep in mind, because sometimes appraisals come in low. And
It happens.
It can be wrong.
Yeah.
It's one person's opinion, and I don't always hold a lot of appraisers in high regard, but there can
They're
be
human.
mistakes, and they're human.
Have your comps ready. That's
Yeah.
my best advice as a listing agent. Buyers, have those comps ready. Be ready to justify your value, because we can argue.
Exactly. And I have argued, and I have won.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. Me too.
it makes a big difference. All right, that wraps it up for Get Real with Eddie. I, once again, am Eddie Ruettiger, the designated managing broker at Exit Real Estate Specialists. And if you have questions, always can give me a call at 815-823-5478, because we'd love to help you in this market.
You made a smart move to get real with Eddie, helping you make your next smart move into your next home.